The story of science and arts goes back to the fall of 1907, the year Oklahoma became a state, and Chickasha was celebrating her 15th year of growth and was making plans to secure one of the several colleges planned for the state. Chickasha had the competitive edge. It was a thriving community with water, electricity, and sewer services, 1 daily and 3 weekly newspapers, factories making furniture and cigars, 8 houses of worship, 5 banks, and served by 3 major railroads. On May 16, 1908, the university was founded with the signing of Senate Bill 249 by Governor Charles Haskell. The legislature subsequently appropriated $100,000 for the construction of buildings on campus.
And for a period of time, this was the only building on the Oklahoma College for Women campus, and it was the everything building. It had offices and classroom spaces. It had the cafeteria. It had the gymnasium. There had some residential components for students. It was placed in a rather austere kind of barren land. There were no trees. There was no oval. George Washington Austin became president in 1914. And it was under Austin that considerable new building occurred on campus, and Austin used this building by putting pianos, students practicing on pianos up and down the halls, and had them playing when he invited legislators to come here to the campus to ask them for money for more buildings, and had those students playing in the halls to demonstrate to the legislators how disruptive it was to have classes, music classes going on in the building. And he did get more money that allowed him to build Sparks and Davis and Austin and Willard and the President's home shortly thereafter.
Oklahoma's foremost architect, Solomon Andrew Layton, who designed the Oklahoma State Capitol, also designed 7 buildings located within the Oklahoma College for Women National Historic District, including the Administration Building, now known as Trout Hall.
In the very early going, William Howard Taft, former President of the United States, was here and spoke in the earlier 1911 auditorium, as I'm calling it, and also stayed overnight in the President's home while on campus. As it relates to a really famous graduate of ours, Tayada Thompson, for which this auditorium now bears her name in memorial, an extraordinarily iconic figure for the Chickasaw Nation, who came here in 1914. She graduated in 1919, and undoubtedly would have been on the stage here in 1919, graduating in the earlier version of the auditorium, but also with Frances Dinsmore Davis coming here in 1914. She was also the head of drama productions at OCW at that time, and folks in the theater area pretty careful about what kinds of plays they put on at the Women's College, so as not to concern parents and other folks who had certain suspicions about the moral constructs of folks who were involved with the theater. And so they were very careful about putting on productions that didn't raise questions about this. And there was a play put on in 1916 here in the auditorium, and I don't know the content of it. I think it goes under the name of The Piper, and I do know that Tayada played in that particular, had a role in that play, The Piper, in 1916 on this stage.